Hey everybody, it's Christopher Small, the Unconventional Attorney. Today I want to talk to you about visualization in selling. Before I get to that though, I want to remind you, if you are not subscribed to the world's greatest law firm owner newsletter of all time, you are missing out. And you can join for free by going to unconventionalnewsletter.com. It's very simple. Every Sunday I send you out some goodness, usually things I don't talk about anywhere else. Have a little bit more time, a little bit more space, can get into things a little bit deeper. And if you're not there, you're missing out. Unconventionalnewsletter.com. All right. So today I wanted to talk about visualization in selling. If you guys don't know, I recently hired a new associate attorney. She started actually about a month ago, exactly a month ago on Wednesday. And one of the things I've really been trying to do is train her and teach her up on selling, basically on how to just have good conversations with potential clients so that they see our value, see how we can help them, and want to sign up with us. Okay. And throughout that process, I have been letting her listen in on all of my potential client calls. And there have been several times when something has come up and I just rattled some stuff off, just like right off the top of my head. It seems very smooth and natural, and very difficult, very hard to do. And as we were having a conversation about that today. Literally something random came up, and I just rolled some craziness out, and it kind of worked. Okay, so what I was talking to her about is what I wanted to share here. And in reality, although it seems like the conversations I'm having are so smooth, they're so natural, they're so easy. What's happening in reality is I've spent a tremendous amount of time, and I think about it all the time actually, but I've spent a lot of specific, sort of structured, intentional time thinking about the conversations that I'm going to have with people, and then playing those conversations out in my mind before I have them. Okay, so when something pops into my head, some sort of an issue with something, I go down the rabbit hole and try to figure out how, not just what do I know about this thing, but how would I explain it to someone that doesn't understand it? When I say something, what are the next natural questions that are going to come up? How do I answer those next natural questions? And then what's going to come up from that, right? And then sort of on and on and on, just like a conversation with myself, essentially, but playing the potential client, so that when those potential clients come in, not only do I already know what questions they're going to ask literally, but I've already rehearsed my answers in my mind all the way out, and have thought about the next questions, and in some cases can anticipate and sort of pre-answer those questions, which makes me seem even more like a fortune teller or something like that, and really make a connection with these potential clients as they come in. But the key to this, and what I told Suzanne, who's my new attorney's name, what I told Suzanne today was, I think the key part of this, the critical part, is that I don't just think of the answer. I don't just think of the thing. I actually run through the conversation literally with what I would say literally to that person, how I would say it, how I would structure it, how I would explain it, and then think about the next things that come up and do the same thing again. So often we would say something like, oh, if this pops up, it's obvious that, let's say, the answer is going to be a special needs trust, okay? But if you haven't thought about how you're going to explain that to someone, if you haven't thought about what kind of questions and objections are going to pop up, what things are going to be thinking about, then you're not doing the job right. And when you're talking to your potential client, they're not going to feel like you know them. They're not going to feel like you understand where they're coming from. So if you are actually, whether or not, what I was going to say was, if you're having a problem signing people up, but it doesn't matter whether you're having a problem or not, this is a tremendous tool that you can put into your sort of resource bag to come back to when you have spare moments. Walk through these conversations that you might be having with people and think about the answers. Here's another one other big thing that I do all the time. Think about the questions that you are scared about people asking, and then come up with those answers. For me, back in the day, it used to be, why do you look so young? How long have you been practicing? And even with estate planning, now I'm 5 years in, But there was a time 5 years ago when I was literally had zero experience. Okay, so how long have you been doing this was a question I was freaked out about. I did not want to have to answer it, but you know what? It came up because I still look young, especially now with the buzz, right? Still look young. Even when I have my hair, still look young. And so from time to time, I'll get people that ask, like, what's your experience like? How long have you been doing estate planning? And I have not just a great answer, but it's a natural answer, right? It's a smooth answer because I've thought about how I was going to say it. I thought about exactly the way that I want to present that. And I practice that in my mind over and over and over again so that when I actually have to talk about it, I'm confident. I'm composed. I'm ready to go. And I would encourage all of you to do that because I know you don't spend a lot of time on that. I know that's probably one of the areas that you don't think is helpful, but it's critically, critically helpful. And by the way, when you're going into court, when you're going into trial, when you're doing all these other things, this is also really important. When you're going, one last sort of example of this. When I used to go and do like probation revocation hearings for my DUI clients, you can't just go in there and act like everything is great because your client just messed up, right? So I would think about what am I going to say to try to get them out of this? And then what is the judge going to say? And then what is the prosecutor going to say? And you can sort of walk them down getting to the area that you want to go if you thought it out beforehand. Okay, so visualization is the key. Like putting yourself into the room, put yourself on the phone, talk to that potential client, think about what they're going to say, and have those responses specifically said by you in your mind. All right, that's it. Yeah, as always, if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you know someone needs to hear this, please share it with them. If you have a question or comment, please leave it. And if you are not subscribed to the world's greatest law firm owner newsletter of all time, go to unconventionalnewsletter.com. Every Sunday, I send you goodness. It's free. It's amazing. And it's part of me. So, unconventionalnewsletter.com. That is it. As always, I'm the Unconventional Attorney. I'm Christopher Small as well. I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. And I will talk to you again soon. Bye.